Hi everyone, today I am here to bring you a full body athletic Pilates reformer workout. As far as equipment goes for this workout, what you will need is your reformer, a box, and also a hand weight. Today I'm using an 8-pound hand weight. That being said, you can use anything from 3 to 12, 15 pounds. And if you don't have a weight, please don't worry about it. You can also do this workout body weight only. As always during this workout, please feel free to modify as necessary, adjust the springs to your liking and to your reformer. When you are ready, gather that equipment because this workout starts now. All right guys, so I'm all set up. I have one heavy spring on my reformer. I've placed my weight down by the side of my reformer and my box to the end just to get them out of the way. My headrest is up and we are gonna start standing today, so come all the way up. I am going to take my straps and just place them outside of the reformer all the way to the end, again, just to get them out of the way for now, and then we're carefully going to step into the well, stepping over the straps carefully and face in towards the shoulder blocks to start. So I'm taking my feet about squat distance apart, about shoulder width, maybe a little wider. I have a slight turnout in my knees and my hips and my toes just because that is comfortable for me. And then I want you to start by taking your hands down to your shoulder blocks. You should be able to comfortably reach to the shoulder blocks while you're in that squat position. Arms stay long for this. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale, round the spine and pull the carriage towards you. Inhale and lengthen away, and exhale, round the spine and pull the carriage in. So here, I want you to take your time to just make sure that you're a proper distance from those shoulder blocks, that the hands have a good grip. Good, and then once you have that established, just find your depth in your squat as you press the carriage forward and find that deep connection to your abdominals as you pull the carriage in. Let's do 4 more here, finding your breath. And 3, now one thing to be careful of is how close you bring the carriage to your knees. You want to make sure that your knees do not get hurt by pulling the carriage in too far. Last 2 here. And on this last one, come back down into your squat. You can just let your hands float on top of those shoulder blocks. And now we're coming down and up a little bit. Hands could also be on the thighs here. Good, let's do 8, 7, 6, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now stand all the way up, take your hands to your heart, squat down and rotate to one side, come back up and stand up on the toes. Now when you squat, you're gonna go to the other side and then stand tall, come up onto the toes. A few more just like that. Nice, finding a rhythm, finding your balance for 8, getting the heart rate to elevate a little bit, 6, last 4, 3, 2, find your squat, find your rotation, and pulse, 8, 7, heels are down on the floor, last 4, 3, 2, and 1, lift, rotate, lift, rotate, round 2 of 2. We're gonna end in our squat, in rotation to the other side. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Find your other squat, rotation, little pulse, 8, 7, 6, last 4, last 2, and 1. Stand all the way up, shake out those legs. Beautiful. From here, depending on the reformer you have, you're gonna take one foot back onto the edge of the reformer, okay? Make sure your foot has a good position. Might be slightly different than mine if you have a different reformer than me. Stand up nice and tall. Get your balance, hands to the hips, hands to heart center is fine. Come down and up in this little staggered squat. Your torso may be pitched forward just slightly. That's okay. Good. For 8, 7, the depth of this staggered squat is up to you. For 4, 3, 2, now stay low in your squat. Grab onto your shoulder block with your opposite hand and do a little pull. and pull. Now how I am set up, I'm pulling the shoulder block closest to my front leg. It does not matter to me if your hand is on the other shoulder block. It is what is most comfortable for you. For 8, add a little downward motion in the legs as you pull. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the carriage slowly, stand all the way up, shake it off. Same thing other side. So those glutes should be warm, so should your quads. Find the back of the carriage with your foot, your other foot. Make sure you feel like you're in a comfortable stance here. Come down and up. Hips and torso are pointing straight forward here. Nice. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay low. Opposite hand to the knee that's forward. Comes onto the shoulder block and we row. Nice job. Add a little depth to the legs as you pull the elbow back. Last 4. Nice. 3 and 2 and 1. Stand up. Bring both feet down, closer together now. Walk your hands forward onto your shoulder blocks. Find a plank with your heels lifted behind you. From here, pitch your upper body down towards the floor and your hips back. Let your heels drop down towards the floor. And then roll yourself back forward into your plank. And again, up and back, up and forward. Undulating through the spine here. Let's do 3 more. And 2. On this last one, you're going to land in your plank. Elbows are going to track past the ribs into a Pilates push-up and press. Down and press. We're moving fairly quickly today in our transitions between exercises, but if at any point you want to slow it down a little bit, just pause that video and go a little slower. Good, we'll do 4 and 3. Last 2. Last time. Straighten the arms, sit the hips back. Just take a nice stretch here. Let the head go through the upper arms if it feels good for your shoulders. Nice. And then step it in. Stand up and carefully step outside of your well. At this point, you can put your straps back up onto your pegs so they're ready for later. And then we're going to change our springs just a little bit. So I have 1 heavy spring on. I am going to change it to 1 heavy and 1 medium. And then we're going to stand next to the reformer and grab onto the strap closest to us. So I'm angling my body to where the strap attaches to the upright on the reformer. I'm going to grab my smaller loop here. My feet again are squat distance apart. And now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to row those elbows back and then stand up and release. I'm relying on the springs to keep my upper body fairly upright here so I can get nice depth through my squat. Beautiful. Exhale to pull. Exhale to pull. For 4 and 3. Last 2. Now hold your squat and just row the arms forward and back, squeezing the back body. For 8, 7, 4, 3, 2. Now hold the row. Keep the elbows close to the body. Lift the heels. Find that balance. Lower the heels. Lift, lower, lift, lower. 4, 3, 2. Can you keep those heels elevated? Little pulse. 8, 7, 6. Last 4. Last 2 and 1. Rise up, heels down, release that strap. Let's walk around to the other side. Round 2 of 2. Again, you're grabbing onto the strap closest to you Angling your body to face where the strap attaches to the reformer. Grab on with both hands. Take your feet squat distance apart. Collarbones are nice and wide here. Sit down and pull. Stand and release. Nice. Good. So even though we are doing some more athletic movements today, all the same Pilates principles still apply. So control, flow. Good. Last 4, 3, last 2, and now we stay low and we row the arms. That's it. Spine is in a nice long line from the tailbone through the crown of the head. You've got 4, 3, 2. Now hold the elbows back. We lift the heels. We lower the heels. Good. Last 4, 3, 2. Let's try to keep the heels up and pulse. 8, 7. The carriage will not move here too much for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand up and place that strap back. From here, I am going to go back to my one heavy spring and then take a seat on the reformer with one foot on either side. I'm going to sit pretty far back so that there's just about a hand's distance of space between me and the rear edge of the reformer. And then I'm going to grab onto these straps. Again, smaller loops if you have an option with the palms facing up. When you're ready, hover the hips, tailbone pointing straight downward, bicep curl. Nice. Let's do 4 more like this and then we'll add on a little bit. Last 2. Now hold your curl. Carefully lift the heels, lower the heels, and release the arms forward. Bend, lift, lower, release. Bend, lift, lower, release. That's it for 4, 3, 2, and one more time. Very nice job. Turn the palms to face back and down. Now let's round the spine and press the palms back. The heels are down on the floor here. You're looking to find upper body flexion and the tailbone to still be pointing down towards the floor. Exhale to round that upper back. Last 4. Exhale 3. And one more time. Very nice job. Have a seat. Woo. Okay, now we're gonna bring our feet up onto the reformer. I'm gonna find a cross-legged position. If this does not feel comfortable for you, you could always elevate your hips on a yoga block or a bolster so that you have a little less of a hip, like a compressed hip bend. From here, still holding those loops, let's bring the arms out to a T and forward. Nice, squeezing into the back. Sitting up out of the hips. And 4, 3. Hold those hands wide, slightly before the line of the shoulder. Now we're going to rotate one arm down towards the floor and one arm up to the ceiling, and then switch. So the carriage is staying very still here. This is a challenging movement for me. If it's a challenging movement for you, that's okay. You can take breaks when you need or want to. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. All right, take that headrest down. Bring your feet forward onto the headrest. We are going to go back to our bicep curls here. So you need a little more space behind you than you just previously had, so that eventually we can roll back onto our back here. Palms up towards the ceiling, elbows high. Bicep curl, Tuck the tailbone under, roll the spine back, keep the elbow bent, roll the spine up, and release the curl. Bend, roll, roll, release. Bend, roll, roll, release. Now stay here with both feet down or bring one knee up. Test the waters there, switch feet, roll down and roll up. Added challenge, do not release that bicep curl. Just keep the 90-degree angle as you transition. One more each way. Last time. Roll it up. All right. So from here, we're going to go back to that wide pull that we just did previously. But you can either keep your feet down on the carriage, or you can tuck your tailbone under, bring one knee up, and do some here, and then we'll switch into the other side. And then if you're feeling like you'd like an added challenge, maybe you bring both knees up. You press the arms out to the side and back in, finding that balance, finding that point of stability right behind the tailbone here. Nice, the back is already warm, so you might really feel this behind the shoulders and the lats. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up and replace your straps onto your pegs. All right, from here we're gonna grab our box. I am going to put another spring or two on just to stabilize the carriage, and we're going to use our weight for the first time. So let's grab our box and place it onto the carriage. In front or over the shoulder blocks, however you like your setup for short box abdominals. And then grab onto your weight carefully. Come up onto your box and take your feet underneath your foot strap. The weight is optional. Make sure you have some tension on your strap. You're going to hold the weight end to end between the hands, close to the chest. Start seated nice and tall. Take a breath inhale here, and without losing the height of your body, tuck the tailbone under and find that deep contraction of the abdominals, rounding the spine. Then when you're ready, continue that roll back. As far as feels comfortable, inhale. Exhale and roll the spine up. Let's do a few more like that. Find your length. Inhale, exhale, round the spine, roll it back. Take a breath at the back here, and then exhale and roll it back up. Let's do 4 more. And 3. Last 2. And 1 more time. Now adding on, press the weight forward as you roll the spine back. Lift the arms up, lower the arms down, roll the spine up, bring the hands back to the chest. Roll it down, lift, lower, roll it up. Now if you'd rather keep your arms extended forward the whole entire time, you are welcome to. I'm just taking that moment of reprieve for my shoulders, but you're welcome to hold that weight out the whole time to add increased challenge to the fronts of the shoulders. Last 2. And last time. Nice. Hold the weight at the chest, roll the spine back, and now let's just rotate side, center, side, center. I like to exhale on my rotation. Last 4, 3, and 1. Come back center. Sit up nice and tall. Remove one of your feet from under that strap. You might have to scooch back a little bit on your box so that you can maintain that tension on your foot strap. From here, you're gonna tuck your tailbone under and roll back. Your free leg is coming up into tabletop. Weight is at the chest. Lower back a little bit. Come up and rotate to that side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. 5. Only one exercise on this side. 4. One more. Center, rise, switch. That's a challenging one. Roll it back. Ooh, roll back, rotate, twist. Find your breath. Use it to deepen your core contraction. 5, 3, 2, 1. Center, sit up. Switch out your feet again. We're gonna turn over onto our side. Start with the side that allows you to face me for the first round, okay? Reach up into your strap with your strapped foot. Bring your bottom hand down to your headrest. Now again, the weight is optional. It does add a significant amount of challenge to these oblique movements. If you are using it, the weight is at the chest. You are stacked hip on top of hip, finding a long line from the crown of the head through the foot, and we are lowering and lifting the torso. Down, find length as you lift. Down, find length as you lift. So the waistline moves closer to the well. A lot of times I see people here. I want your whole waistline to go down and up. Nice. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit up for a moment. We have one more exercise on this side. We're gonna go down, and then we're gonna twist upward in rotation with the weight at the chest. So find your long line first. Come down towards the well. Come up and twist. Top ribs go back. No bouncing in that top leg. Keep it lifted into your strap for 4. We get a stretch. 3, into, and 1. All right, place your weight down somewhere that is nice and stable. Take your upper body over into the well and take a beautiful stretch. I like to put my elbow onto my headrest, but you could also have the hand down on the floor. Feel free to just turn the hip a little bit till you feel some release. Carefully come up. Let's turn over, grab that weight, switch out your feet. You're over on your other hip. Bottom hand to the headrest till you find a long line through the body. Your weight comes to the chest. Our first exercise is lower lift. Inhale, exhale. Find your range of motion. 4, 3, 2. Last time, take a moment. We're gonna add that twist upwards towards the sky. Over, up, and twist. Here we go. Find your long line, bring the weight to the chest. Down, up, rotate. Top ribs go back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, weight goes down. Find a good position that it feels steady. And then come on down for your stretch. Nice job. All right, carefully come up. Unhook your foot. I'm going to reduce my spring to 1 heavy and 1 medium. I'm going to take my box off and place it to the side. Okay, we're going to do some lunging with the weight and some different variations without. So to start, you're going to bring your body about halfway along your carriage. Your outside foot stays still, your inside foot is going against the shoulder block. Your inside hand can be on the foot bar. If you don't need it there, you can have it behind the back, but it's nice to start there for support. Both knees are bent. I'm in a forward hinge with my torso. From here, press the carriage out and in as you extend the outside arm and bend it. The outside elbow stays up by the rib cage. And I want you to think about squeezing that tricep, the back of the arm, as you extend the carriage. Nice. Now my spring feels heavy enough that I feel like I want to keep my hand on the foot bar. But if you feel like you can keep your weight in your standing heel and not rock it forward into the toes, again, feel free to take that foot bar hand onto your low back. Let's do 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1. Now, I'm going to press the carriage about halfway out and just hold it there, static hold. Keep your long arm up by your hip and pulse the back of the arm up to the ceiling for 8, 7, 6, last 4, 3. Let's go back to bend and press, both arm and leg. Round 2 of 2. Good for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, keep the carriage pressed halfway out, static hold. Little pulses up with your long arm. 8, 7, 6, last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come in, step down, and walk around to the other side. Switch your weight into your outside hand. Come halfway down your carriage. Bring your inside foot against your shoulder block. Inside hand against the foot bar if you took that option on the other side. From here, your outside elbow is up by your ribs. Let's press and extend and bend. Find that exhale. Keep your neck in alignment with your spine. Your gaze is not forward and up. You're finding length from the tailbone to the crown of the head. You've got 4, 3, 2, hold the carriage pressed a little away from the stopper. Little long arm lifts of that weighted arm for 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. Round 2 of 2, bend, press, bend, press. 4, 3, 2. Make sure that outside knee is bent, arm and leg. Hold the carriage out a little bit and pulse the back of the upper arm up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way in. I'm going to place my weight down at the front edge of my reformer to get it out of my way completely. And for me, I'm going to take off that one medium spring. So I'm left with one heavy. I want you to keep the carriage as quiet as you can for this next exercise. We're going to bring one foot, the inside foot, up to the center of the carriage. We're just going to do a little carriage hop side to side. So slow to begin, both feet up, one foot down, both feet up, the other foot down. Once you feel comfortable with this, you can pick up that pace a little bit. Again, try not to bounce the carriage too much, although it's almost impossible not to do it all. Nice. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, and 1. End on whatever side you're on. Your outside foot is going to be almost in line with the foot bar. Your inside foot is back against your shoulder block again. I want you to press that leg to straight. It's going to stay straight. Arms stay straight as well. Find a long lunge with your knee lifted off the carriage. Then transfer your weight forward into your hands and float your outside knee up to the elbow. You come down into your lunge, up and bend the knee. Again, back leg and arms are straight. Keeping that heart rate elevated. Good. We're going to change what our front leg is doing. So instead of the knee coming up to the elbow, we're going to sweep our long leg back towards the shoulder block in 3, and 2, and 1. Long leg, sweeps back and down, back and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Now bring the carriage in. Transition your body up onto the carriage. Feet against your shoulder blocks. Heels about halfway up. Pike your hips up. Sitting your hips up and back, and bringing your head through your upper arms. Then bring your right foot forward onto the platform, coming down into your lunge, back up into your pike, hips go high, opposite foot comes forward onto the platform, find your lunge, up into pike, lunge. Take your time in your transitions, up into pike, lunge. Last 4, 3, 2, last time, and lunge. Nice. Bring the carriage in. You are welcome to lower your back knee down. Step over to the other side. And here we go again. So, outside foot is forward. Arms are long. Back knee is lifted. Press the carriage out. As you come in, transfer your weight into your hands. Float the outside knee up. Down and lift. Down and lift. Five more like this, and then long leg sweeps back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Down, leg sweep, down, leg sweep. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we rest. Woo. Okay. Shake those wrists off. We're going to bring our backs back up onto the reformer. We are going to do some standing on the reformer. So take your time getting that box on. So I want your heart rate to come down just a little bit. All right. We do need our weight here. So I'm going to take my weight up onto my box just so it's easy for me to grab in a moment. Then I'm going to put one more medium spring on. So I'm going back up to my one heavy and one medium. Then I'm going to step my platform foot up. Then I'm going to step my carriage foot up and make sure my feet are in a line with each other. Then I'm going to stand up and grab that weight. I'm sorry if my head is cut off here. All right, hands are right at the chest. Bend both knees so you're in a squat. Now press out with both legs and pull in with both legs. Landing back in your squat. Press out and bend. Press out and bend. Using those outer hips. Nice. For 5. The weight is just hanging here, and it's optional. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come almost all the way into the stopper, but hold the carriage out just slightly. Lengthen that weight down in front of you. Sit down into a deep squat and come halfway up. Trying to keep the carriage as still as possible. Keep those outer hips active. So it's a half squat, right? We go down to the bottom of our range and then halfway up for 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Bring your weight solely into the hand that's closest to the carriage. Shift your weight into your platform foot. From here, punch and bend the elbow as you extend the carriage out. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, stand up, step back, come around to the other side, And we'll come back up to repeat. So platform foot, carriage foot, they're in a line with each other. The weight is at the chest. Bend down into your squat. Find a good foot position. Make sure you're settled before you move. Press the carriage out, pull the carriage in. Use those glutes and outer hips. Four, 3, and 1. Come almost all the way in. Pause. Lengthen that weight down towards the floor. Now come down and halfway up. Down and halfway up. Make sure your arches stay nice and active. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Weight is on your inside hand. Shift your weight into your foot bar side leg. Press the carriage out and in, add a little punch. If the punch is too much, hold the hand by the shoulder. Good. 5, 4. Last 2 and 1. Woo. Stand up, step down, and stand in front of your carriage. I am going to move my box just because I want you to be able to visually see me without it being in the way. Standing facing away from the carriage, weight between the hands. Feet are squat distance apart or slightly wider with a turnout in the hips, the knees, and the toes. From here, we squat down and twist up. Squat down and twist up. Transferring your weight into your foot bar side foot, rotating the hip, the knee, and the toe of the other leg. Inhale, exhale. Waking up that waistline. Nice. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come center. Switch to the other side. Down, twist, down, twist. Very functional movement here. Almost there. For 5, 4, 2, and 1. And rest. Okay, I'm going to place my weight down. Take my carriage down to 1 red or 1 heavy spring. Come to kneeling on the reformer. We're going to do a little bit of outer hip work here. We will also work our waistline. So 1 hand goes on the headrest, the other hand goes on the shoulder block. Your knee is at the center of the carriage, and your other foot is on the foot bar. Press the carriage out and in. This isn't going to be such a huge movement to start, okay? I just want you to really activate those lower obliques, find length through the top waist, and make sure the shoulders are in a really steady position here. Now look at your foot, and we're going to take a little hop, a very small baby hop off the foot bar. Good, you guys keep going. I'm just going to take my straps down so they stop banging around. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come in, take your top foot over your foot bar and just lift it. 8, 7, that's a challenge. 6, 5. Last 2, hold your foot up, flex it, press the heel back towards the back edge of the foot bar. 5, 4, 1 more exercise on this side. 3, 2, hold the leg back, foot is still flexed, little lifts up to the back. 8, 7, 6, Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend. Sit. If it feels comfortable for you, just cross your working side over your bent knee and take a little hip stretch. Otherwise, the foot can be all the way down on the floor here for a very similar stretch. Okay, nice. Take a few deep breaths. Let's turn over, do the same thing on the other side. Let's hope my carriage doesn't bang around so much on this other side. So we're coming to kneeling. One hand on the headrest, one hand on the shoulder block. Bottom knee is at the center-ish of the carriage. Take your foot onto the foot bar and just straighten and bend your knee a few times. Make sure you feel stable here before you add your little hop. And then if you're feeling good and you want to add that hop, it's a tiny little baby one. Just enough to activate that outer hip and glute. Make sure you're looking at that foot for 4, 3, 2, 1. Come in, land. Take that leg up the foot bar, lift it. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, flex the foot, press back, back. Last 4, 3, 2, hold it to the back, little lifts. 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Woo. Have a seat, take your stretch. Again, foot can be on the floor or crossed over with the knee bent. This is nice because it just allows you a little twist as well. And then we are going to use our box one more time. We are going to use our weight one more time. So the box is actually going to be on the floor next to the reformer. If you would like to put a mat down underneath it, you can. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to work on the floor because my floor, my box does not slip. It feels safe for me. But if you need that extra, sticky feeling, please grab a mat. The weight is going onto the box. Your hands are going onto the outside edge of the box, and you're finding a plank with wide-ish feet. From here, you're just going to press your hips up and back, and then back into your plank, very similar to what we did at the beginning of class in the well. Nice. The last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come forward. Grab the weight with one hand. If your other hand needs a different hand position to feel comfortable for the wrist, please take it. Now we're just going to do a little row, trying to keep the hips and the shoulders square to the box. No weight is a fine option as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now listen, pull the weight high, rotate onto the side plank and press the weight up to the ceiling, and then rotate back down to the box. Rotate, press, rotate, push, rotate, press, rotate, push. Let's do 4, 3. Notice that my heels are dropping to the side. And 1 more. Place that weight fully down. Sit your hips back. Take a moment. And then we reset for the other side. Come forward, grab the weight in your opposite hand, square off your shoulders and your hips. A nice wide stance is quite nice here. Pull the elbow to the ribs, little row. 8, 7, 6, 4. And then add that rotation. Rotate, press. Rotate, press. 4, 3, and 1. Weight goes back onto the box. Push it further away from you. Come down to your forearms. Feet are still wide. Come up to your hands. Come down to your forearms. Come up to your hands. Alternate which elbow comes down first onto the box. Nice job. For 4, we're gonna end on our forearms in 3 and 2. Last time. Come down onto your forearms. Bring your feet in closer to one another. Drive one knee at a time towards the box. Little quick switch. Try to pick up that pace. Good. 8, 7, 6. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Feet down on the floor. Walk yourself back onto your feet. Let the head go down towards the floor. Just take a moment of reprieve here. Tiptoe your hands back up. Roll the spine up to stand. Roll the shoulders. We don't need our weight anymore. We don't need our box anymore. So get those out of the way. We're gonna come up onto the carriage. I do have that one heavy spring on still. Now we are gonna do knee stretches. So for me, because I'm a little on the short side, I'm gonna move the foot bar a little closer to me. That is not necessary if you're, like I'm 5'2". I'm pretty short for this carriage, so this feels better for my body. Bring your feet up against your shoulder blocks. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Widen your collarbones and find a connection underneath your armpits. From here, press the carriage out and in. Nice flat back, nice quick tempo. That's it. 8, 7, you're controlling that carriage with the core. 4, 3, 2, 1, pull the carriage in, round the spine, tailbone stays tucked under and press. Now it is a slightly truncated movement because the tailbone needs to stay tucked under for this rounded shape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the carriage home. Bring the toes of one of your feet forward to the edge of the carriage with the heel lifted. Lift your back knee up, but keep it very close to the carriage. Press and pull. Back leg is straightening and bending. 4, 3, 2, 1. Transition to the other side. I'm stepping forward and then back, bending my back knee close to the carriage. Press, press. Nice. 4, 3, keep that belly lifted. 2, 1. Now listen, stand up. Take both sets of toes to the front edge of the carriage. Heels together, toes apart. Round the spine. From here, press the carriage out. Finding your plank, pull the carriage in, finding your very, very narrow elephant position. If this feels too tight, just walk your feet back a little bit. Heels stay elevated and together. Press the carriage out. Find your plank. Pull the carriage in, find your pike. Flat back, round back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Can you hold that plank? Press the carriage out further and in, out further and in. Now for me, because my feet are far forward, when I press back, I hit the end of the carriage. Be conscious of that, okay? If you need to walk your feet back towards your shoulder blocks, you totally can do that. If you need a fuller range through your upper body. 4, in fact, I'm going to do that a little bit. 3, last 2. And I want you to hold this one out on the extension of the carriage. Find the longest body you can and hold for 8, 7. Squeeze those heels. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully pull the carriage in. Drop the heels down. Step off to one side. And find a lunge with the back knee down. Settle here. I'm going to straighten my front leg out and find a deep stretch. Hands can come down further to the sides of the reformer or the floor. Take some deep breaths. Take this time to do anything that feels good for your body. Nice, come in. Come over to the other side. That was really lazy of me. I should have walked around, so I apologize about that. All right, come on down into your low, long lunge. Okay, bring your hands further down if it feels good. I'm straightening my front leg out to get that beautiful stretch through the hamstring. Nice. Stay here as long as you'd like. I'm going to bend my front knee and find that long lunge again. Letting the breath settle. Letting your nervous system settle. Come carefully back in. Have a seat with your feet flat on the floor underneath your knees. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, rotate over one shoulder. Take a nice twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, rotate the other way. Inhale back to center. Exhale, elbows wide. Find a little back extension. Open the chest. And one more time. Inhale it up. Exhale, back extension. Open the chest. And you guys are all done. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it got your heart rate up a little bit, made you work up a bit of a sweat. Leave me a comment or a question down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you'd like to see next. And please, please subscribe and share. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.